Hey hustlers, welcome back to my channel. If you are new, welcome. Click the subscribe button down below. It's completely free and join my family of hustlers. A few weeks ago I sent a I asked you guys to ask me some questions. I've actually never done a Q&A on my channel before, so you guys asked some questions from Instagram and also on my YouTube community page, and I'll be answering those questions in this video. Okay, there's some questions that I won't answer in this video for those that kind of know. So if your question isn't answered in this video, it'll be answered on the next video, so you'll know what question that is. So I won't answer them here, I'll answer them on the next video. The next question is actually a fun one. Which African country would you love to travel and why? Oh, that's a good one. I'd love to go to Nigeria. I know it's so funny, but I just love Nigerian culture. Like every time I watch Nigerian content, specifically on TikTok, I just relate so much to Nigerian people. I love that they're such hustlers, go-getters. They literally feel like Zulu people or like South African people in a sense. So I'd love to go to Nigeria and just visit and see. I'd love to go to Ghana. I'd love to go to Morocco. I'd love to go to Egypt. I'd love to go to the Seychelles. I'd love to go to Zanzibar, Kenya. I'd love to go, there's so many places I'd love to go in Africa. Like I think I'd love to explore Africa first before really going out and just exploring outside of the African continent. I think there's just so much I'd love to see and learn. But yeah, like from the top of my head, those are the type of places, and why they just seem like such great places to learn about African history. I would love to travel those places and almost live like a person who lives there and not be a tourist, if that makes sense. So I'd love to go to the places that the locals go to and just kind of see how the locals live and how they do it and stuff. And I think that's the best way to learn like a new place, if that makes sense. How do you prepare yourself for hyperinflation? I've experienced it living in Zim and I still have trauma. We are really in tough times, and I'm actually gonna film a video about how to survive inflation. But the one thing that I can definitely say is that right now is the best time to evaluate your finances, evaluate your expenses, and really pick and choose what's important. Negotiate when necessary for anything, a service provider. If you're paying for car insurance, really good time to look at other options of car insurance, and that will be cheaper but still kind of give you the same benefits and not pay more access or anything of the sort. Really be great time to evaluate all the life policies you are paying for and the life insurance you have. Maybe you don't need as much, maybe you need like a few. Also make sure that you're not overinsured, because if you've been paying for such a long time and you are overinsured because it's underwritten by the same provider, you know, all of those things. So it's really important to start evaluating those things, but I'll dig more deeper into the video that I want to do. But I'll definitely say evaluating your finances, like being very strategic and mindful on things or areas in your budgets or in your finances that take up the most money. Can you get out the most? And I don't want to be talking about not doing your nails, not doing your hair, because that probably only makes about a small percentage of your finances. I want you to focus on the bigger spectrum or the bigger costs, like your car, your house, your rent, your food, your insurance, your medical aid, all of those big expenses. How can you get money back into your pocket? And if you do get money back into your pocket, maybe you get a better insurance, or maybe you can negotiate three days working from home instead of 5 days working from home. 3 days working from home instead of 5 days going to the office, so you can save on petrol. That money that you're gonna get back, I would highly focus that on paying off high interest debt, especially that debt that is linked to prime, because as the interest rate increases, so does that debt and you pay more interest. So I would definitely say focus on paying off high interest unsecured debt right now. So that will be your short-term loans, personal loans, your car, your credit card, all of those debts, your clothing accounts, your phone contracts. Get out of them if you can with any little bit extra that you have, and also save. I think it's a really good time to speak about saving and having some sort of savings put away. That is beating inflation. Remember, you don't want to put your money away and not beat inflation. Like you want your money, that 100 rand today, to buy you the same things 100 rand in 10 months time is going to buy you. That's how you kind of preserve your money, if that makes sense. So those will be kind of my tips on how to prepare yourself for hyperinflation, but I'll definitely do a standalone video and dig deeper into the things that I've mentioned right now. Then the next question is, how do you switch careers and present yourself in the best way possible? I actually love this question because I was actually going to do a video as well. I'm sharing some video ideas here about pivoting and changing careers, and still being relevant or still presenting yourself, having the necessary skills for that career. Hold on, I need some water. My throat. Okay, so I have switched careers. Well, this is now the third time currently that I've switched careers. First, I was working as an accounting professional, training to become a CA and doing my articles. Then I moved over into retail, and then now I'm moving over more into an entrepreneurial journey, but still kind of doing retail on the side. So for me, I definitely say that whatever skills you've already have, or you've already grown in the role that you have, you can really pivot and move into a new career using your skills, depending on that specific career and how your skills will be relevant. Let me use an example. A lot of talk is currently now about tech, and I actually want to do a video about tech because I just think it's such a great industry to look at if you're looking to pivot, and if you're a graduate that has a degree, you've got skills, but you're currently not getting employed for the thing that you studied for, the industry you're trying to get into. There are industries like tech where you can get hired for having skills but not specifically, you know, having done that job before, and you can get into entry level and get paid well. So it's all about making sure that you package the skills that you already have to fit the job description and the job role for the skill that you, or the job that you're wanting to apply for. So it's very important to make sure that the skills go kind of hand in hand, or you can transfer the skills. And the best way to know is to obviously just do a research, Google, find out what other things am I passionate about. Maybe you did human resource, but you're wanting to go more into social media management, or business management, or business analyst, or business associate. You know, you can definitely transfer those skills of you managing people, acquiring talented people, you know, HR objectives in the company, or things that you've learned into this new role and packaging it to fit that new role. Also learning new things, doing courses. There's online courses available that you can do, Google courses, Coursera, Udemy, all these platforms that you can do courses to upskill and add extra skills to this new role or career that you're wanting to pivot into. I definitely want to do a video more about this because I just found it so fascinating, especially because I've really been living on LinkedIn lately, and I keep seeing these pop up more and more, and I want to have the conversation about pivoting into new careers, specifically in, you know, a non-traditional career like tech, for example. So I definitely say do that, package that in that way, learn what you need to learn about that new role, network with people. LinkedIn is such a great platform to network and connect with people already doing that job. Network with recruiters, you know, ask them what can you do to help pivot into that specific thing using the skills that you already have. Are there any jobs or roles that they know that are looking or taking entry-level people with the knowledge that you have to use into this new career that you're looking to go into? Obviously not every single career you can just transfer skills. Some of them will require you to have a certification or some type of accreditation for it. So some of them you will need to study, but some of them you don't really need to study. You need to just package yourself in that way, in your CV, in how you communicate on your LinkedIn. A lot of people are branding themselves on LinkedIn as their professions, and they're getting jobs left, right, and center because of that. I think I should do a video. Let me know if you guys want me to do a video talking about this. Okay. Then the next question is, how do I go about getting work experience as an economics student? This is a great one, specifically because a lot of places are looking for work experience and they want you to have some work experience. So The one thing I would definitely say is look for VAC work. I remember when I was studying in varsity, I would do VAC work during the holidays, kind of go moonlight and shadow trainees to kind of see day-to-day life as a trainee and what I'll be working as in the accounting profession. And I think I'd get paid per day. It wasn't a lot of money, but it was still great exposure to what I do, and it really looked great on my CV to say I did VAC work for that specific company. So you can start by looking at that, looking for VAC work, also volunteer work as well. Another place thing to do is to ask your lecturers or like your school faculty if they do have connections or know of companies that do look for voluntary work from students. You can apply for that. And internships, but the best one, specifically if you are a student, is VAC work. Also, you know, I would definitely say looking also at tutoring if you are good at specific economics topics. Tutoring, just getting exposure in regurgitating and teaching what you know to other students or other people. But yeah, definitely I'd say reach out to your school faculty, some of your lecturers, ask them are there any companies in the network that they can recommend for you to look at in terms of getting VAC work or internships, just so you can get some type of experience and exposure. And then the last one is also about wedding, budgeting for wedding. I'll definitely do those. And then there was some from my YouTube. So the one is apps that I use for editing my YouTube videos, and are there subscription fees? Yes, there are. I use Filmora, and I buy a license that lasts you for a lifetime. I think the last time I bought a license was about 1,080 Rand or 1.1, but you own the license forever and ever and ever. Just be sure that you're buying, for example, I bought a license last year for a PC, a Windows, and then I got a Mac this year, so I had to buy a new license for the Mac. So I ended up paying quite a lot in a short space of time because of different devices. So just make sure that the device you're buying for, you're going to use for a long time. Okay, then the next video, the next question says regarding investing. Okay, so there's quite a few questions this person asked. So they say, I wish to know how old are you now, and career wise, what are you doing for a living? So I'm currently 27, turning 28 in November. And career-wise, I used to work as a retail merchandise and demand planner in the retail space. I started out in fashion retail, and then I moved over to homeware retail. Right now, I'm living my best life. No, seriously, I'm living my best life right now. Right now, I am... You have to watch the next video to find out what I'm doing right now. And then the next one was regarding investing. A few weeks people were talking about retail government bonds. How is it working? Is it a once-off thing, or may I allow to invest monthly in their platform? To be very honest, I haven't really done much research on retail government bonds. I do know there has been talks about them, specifically because of inflation going up and they being consistent at a 10% return fixed, which is actually really great. You know that you're guaranteed to get that return for that term. I'm not sure about once off or monthly, but what I do want to do is I want to do a video investing in retail bonds and kind of showing you guys the behind the scenes of doing that. As also someone who's never invested in them before and doing it for the first time. So I will do a video like that that's going to be more detailed once I have more information, because I haven't really done much research myself on that topic. Okay, then the next question is about investing on Fedgroup and buying Miranda trees. They've bought 10 Miranda trees, and what is my advice about investing there? I've invested in farming assets, I think, for the past 3 years. I started out buying blueberry bushes, and then as they've added more assets to their platform, I've added that. One thing I love about farming assets is that you buy once off, but you own the asset for the lifetime, and you own returns every time it is harvested. So I know blueberry bushes, the lifetime is up to 8 years. Can't remember the moringa trees, but every single time they're harvested, you get a return on your investment, and the returns are kind of projected around 7 to 8% a year, depending on that specific asset. So that's really a nice return to receive over the period of time. So if you buy moringa trees for I think 250 they are, and you own them for 8 years and you're getting about 7 to 8% return each year, I think that's a really great return, and you never have to lift a finger. You just have to buy one moringa tree, one blueberry bush for 250 and basically earn returns for the duration of its lifetime. So I am all for it. I love impact farming investing, and I think it's such a great alternative to investing. Instead of buying a whole farm and having to invest in the farming assets, that way you're just basically buying assets on the farm but not really owning the farm, if that makes sense. And then the next thing is what is my knowledge about Sastrix and easy equities, and should you invest there? I know that Sastrix instruments are available on easy equities, so I wouldn't invest on both. I'd choose one and invest there. So I invest on Sastrix Top 40 and Sastrix products on easy equities in my ETF. So on easy equities on my TFSA as ETFs, so that's where I would buy it. But you can buy on the Sastrix platform directly. I don't have much experience about it, so I can't really say, but I'm enjoying the easy equities option. Then the next question is regarding buying shares. Someone says shares are divided maybe into 3 types. There are those that are paying dividends and those that are growing in value. Can you just talk about it briefly? Yes, definitely. So there are different types of shares. There are growth shares, which are shares that will grow in value over time, and those ones are going to appreciate in value. And then there are dividend paying shares, where the shares, they pay dividends on them. Remember, when a dividend is paid on a share, the new share price becomes the dividend amount that was paid. So if it's a growth share, usually that share is projected to grow over time, and you can hold it for 5-10 years and you can sell it for a higher value at the end of the day, and they don't pay any dividends during the course of however time they've projected. But a dividend paying share is a share that obviously pays you dividends and gives you dividends, and it kind of adjusts its share price every time a dividend is paid, because that becomes the new share price. So they are different in that way, and you kind of need to know which one you've bought and which one you have, so you can, especially if you're someone who's expecting dividends but you've only bought growth paying dividends, growth shares, and you're expecting dividends, you need to kind of be mindful and know which one you've bought and what you've invested in. I definitely say having a balance is great. So yeah, that is true. The shares are not the same. Shares are not the same. They are quite different. And then I spoke about the Frank app, which I've spoken about it twice, and I just recently did a sponsored video with them. I've invested 2.5, but I'm noticing that the value is going down. I bought a few months ago, if I'm not mistaken, and the value of it was 67-68 rand each, and yesterday it's about 60 to 61. Now the thing about investing, remember, the market fluctuates depending on what's happening. Remember, when we had COVID and a lot of things were uncertain, the markets basically crashed, right? And that can be affected, or the market price can be affected, or the share price of a share can be affected by different things. One, it can be affected by internal factors or external factors. The one internal factors would be maybe management is changing, so they're getting a new CEO, or they're making different or new decisions internally. They are not gonna, whatever it is, that can affect the share price. However, the share price is also affected a lot by the industry and what's happening. So they can be affected by the industry currently. Gas prices are going up, oil prices are going up, so that industry is being affected by what's happening in the world, and those companies that are in those industries will react to how the market is performing. So the market is going to fluctuate, so it's going to go up and down consistently. Now the best thing that you can help yourself or protect yourself against the volatility of the market is to rand cost average buy instead of lump sum buying. Now there is a science behind it. Some have said lump sum buying actually yields higher returns at the end of the day versus rand cost average buying. It's kind of a debate. What I mean by this is that instead of investing a 2.5 once off lump sum, investing the 2.5 at different intervals of the market. So investing 500 Rand when the market is up, investing 500 Rand when the market is down. And this will help you kind of average out the fluctuations. What I mean by this is, if you've bought a share for 2.5 at 10 Rand and it drops to 50 Rand, you will feel the effect of that drop immediately because of that one price that you have locked in your investment at. But if you buy at 10 Rand, at 12 Rand, at 8 Rand, at 7 Rand, do you see, now you're buying at different intervals. So based on the fluctuation and where it goes, you'll feel it relatively differently to someone who's bought it once off or on a lump sum on a specific price. And the nice thing about Rand cost averaging is that no matter what is happening in the market, you're gonna invest. Regardless of what's going on in the market, you're gonna invest. When you try and lump sum buy, a lot of the times you're gonna be wanting to try and market or timing the market, which is very tricky because you don't know if the market's reached its lowest lows or if it's reached its highest highs. You know, you kind of really need to be like, it's very risky. If you're a beginner, I'll just say consistently invest. I'm not saying don't invest a lump sum, but I'm saying continue to invest so you can get the effects of the Rand cost averaging so you're not affected by the fluctuation. I hope that makes sense. I hope I've answered all your questions. The questions I haven't answered, as mentioned, I'll answer in the next video, and then all the wedding questions I'll definitely answer and the waiting series that is coming back very soon. But thank you guys for all the questions. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If there's any questions I haven't answered or any questions you didn't ask that you would like to ask, leave it down below and I'll be sure to answer them. As always, keep hustling and I'll catch you guys on my next video. Bye.